Remodelers and custom builders, stop wasting money on SEO. Whether you're doing it in-house or you're outsourcing it, I'm going to answer your questions today so you know how to evaluate your SEO and whether it's working for you or not. Okay, so let's dive into some common questions that we get here at Builder Funnel around SEO and how to figure out if it's working or not. So the first question is, what are some key indicators that you can look at to determine, is my SEO even working? So the first one is that we want to look at relevant keywords and where you stack up. Are you ranking for the right keywords and are you increasing in ranking? So when we say relevant, that brings up the question, well, what is a relevant keyword? If you're a kitchen remodeler, then you would think about a keyword phrase like kitchen remodeling company in your city. Something like kitchen design is still relevant, but it's not going to be what we would call more bottom of the funnel. So if somebody types in kitchen design and they find your website, that's great, still relevant, but probably not in terms of a person that's going to reach out and fill out your contact us form. So you want to look at all those keywords that you're ranking for, and then what are the ones that are more bottom of the funnel focused, and especially the ones that are relevant to your city and your location. The next thing we can look at is organic traffic. Is your organic traffic rising? Is it increasing? Or is it going down? Or is it flat? And this is a very just quick check. If you go to your Google Analytics, pull up your traffic and go to organic traffic. That basically means, hey, these are all the people that are typing something into Google, Yahoo, Bing. They're basically going to a search engine, typing something in, and they're finding your website. And so a good, just quick baseline is, hey, if my organic traffic is rising, that means my SEO is improving. Now, it doesn't tell the full story because it's not going to factor in, well, maybe you had one blog that's ranking for kitchen design trends and it's getting tons of traffic, but maybe your lead flow isn't increasing. So that's why that metric only tells part of the story, which leads us to organic leads being another metric. How many leads are you generating from your organic traffic? And if that number is on the rise, then that is a great indicator that your SEO is working and it's working in a really positive direction. And then finally, the next one would be customers tracked back from organic searches. So again, it's the next best step from traffic to leads to customers. How many customers can you tie back to organic searches? And if you can do that, then you can ultimately decide, hey, I've invested X dollars into SEO and I got back, Y dollars in revenue and projects. Do I like that ratio? And if you do, then you might look at investing more into SEO and saying, hey, how can I actually increase my organic traffic even further? Question number 2 is, how can remodelers and custom builders look at and analyze their website traffic to gauge whether their SEO is working? So there's a couple of things that you can look at here, and one of those being organic traffic. So we just talked about this, but that is, hey, is my organic traffic, is it up, is it down, or is it just flat? You can log into your Google Analytics right now and you can see that. The next thing that you can do while you're in there is look at which pages are ranking and which pages are drawing in the most traffic. This will be a good indicator of, hey, is it 2 blogs that are driving all the traffic, or is it my homepage? Or maybe it's my core service pages like kitchen remodeling in Colorado Springs or bathroom remodeling in Colorado Springs. If those pages are getting the bulk of the traffic, there's a good chance that they are ranking really well for some desirable keywords and they're drawing in those ideal customers. And so by looking at your overall organic traffic and looking at that trend line and then looking at which pages are getting the lion's share of the traffic, those are 2 quick ways that you can gauge your SEO success. Another question that we get a lot is around keyword performance. And the question is, what role do keywords play in SEO? And the answer is they play a huge role. We want to make sure that when people are typing in words, phrases into Google, that they're finding us. We want to be able to analyze certain keywords and figure out where do we stack up and where are we ranking for those keywords. So some tools that we like to use, one is Ahrefs, and there's a number of SEO tools that you can use, but I highly recommend you picking up and subscribing to a tool if you're not working with an agency that is using a tool on your behalf. That will allow you to see where your website stacks up, where you rank for certain keywords, and then you usually can see other things like where you rank against the competition. Keywords are critical, and you do need some SEO tools to really see where you stack up. Another question we get is, how important are conversion rates in terms of determining SEO success? So this one is a little bit of a it depends answer, because you will see as you do better and better with your SEO, you will start ranking for things like kitchen remodeling in Colorado Springs. but then you'll also probably have some blog posts that just take off. And you might have something like kitchen design trends in 2024 or 2025, and that post will start ranking and it'll just start pulling in tons of traffic. The caveat here is that some of that traffic will be outside of your city. So if you are in Colorado Springs, you're going to start getting traffic from probably all over the state, all over the country. Now, what this does is that it causes your conversion rate from leads to drop, because you're going to get a lot of traffic, and that traffic will come to your site, they'll consume the blog article, but if they are looking for somebody to help them do a project, if they're outside of your region, basically, they have no reason to contact you. So conversion rate is an important metric, but you kind of have to take into consideration which pages are getting the traffic, what are the conversion rates on those pages, and then if you do have some outliers that are skewing your traffic for the positive, but they're taking that conversion rate down. As a general rule of thumb, we typically see a conversion rate for an average design build, remodeling firm, custom home building company, about 0.5%. Our sites typically are between 1.5% and 2.5%, and a lot of it comes back to just that. If you have a couple of blogs that really take off, your traffic goes way up, but your leads are maybe up a little bit or flat, then your conversion rate will drop. And so you might be on the lower end of that range, even though your traffic is really high. The thing I would encourage you to measure is actually how many customers are you getting from organic traffic and your SEO strategy, and then just compare that to what you're investing. That's the real metric that will give you kind of the ultimate conversion rate, which is your ROI. One of the other questions we get is around local SEO. Remodelers and builders often ask us, hey, I'm trying to target a very specific region. What are some metrics I can look at to determine if my local SEO is performing? Now, typically when we talk about local SEO, it basically refers to the map. So your Google profile that you have, and you can show up in the map. When it comes to the map profile, there are actually a lot of things that are outside of your control, like where your physical office is in relation to the person doing the search, how close your office is to the center of the city, or the centroid as Google defines that. And so some of these things, if you're not willing to move your office, they're outside of your control. What you can control though are the number of reviews you get, and then trying to make sure those reviews are high star ratings. So just focus on reviews. Okay, next question. How can remodelers and custom builders use competitor analysis to guide your SEO strategy? This is really important because SEO is a pretty competitive landscape, and if you think about it, when you type something into Google, everything is stack ranked in order. So doing the competitor analysis allows you to see, hey, my site is here, my competition is here, where's maybe some low-hanging fruit? Maybe they haven't targeted some keywords that you see an opportunity to start creating content around and start ranking for. Maybe you see some spots where, man, they really have a good foothold here. That might take a really long time, so maybe I'm gonna shift my strategy somewhere else, or hey, I'm ready to go to battle, but I know it's gonna be a lot of hard work. It basically gives you a good indication of, hey, what's gonna go into my strategy and how should I approach this? Doing the competitive research and analysis allows you to understand where you sit today and then where you need to get to in the future. One of the other questions we get is around content. How is content quality a factor in terms of contributing towards my SEO? At the end of the day, content plus keywords is a big part of how you're going to rank in Google. And so content is a big part, but one of the best ways you can basically look at some of your content to determine, hey, is this going well? One, your blog should be ranking. That blog content should be moving up for the keywords that you selected, and then same for service pages, content pages on your website, and project spotlight pages. All of those pages, you want to have a clear keyword strategy, and then you're pairing it with quality content. Because at the end of the day, somebody's going to do a Google search. Hopefully the keyword strategy draws them in, but once they're on the page, they actually have to read the content. It has to be good, it has to be helpful. You need to be providing value to that person based on what they're looking for and what they're trying to find. By doing that, you'll also influence other SEO factors like time on page, number of pages they visit on your site, if they're clicking links and engaging with your site. That's where the combination of pairing quality content with your keyword strategy will have a positive impact on your overall SEO. One of the other questions we get is around audits. How often should you be doing an SEO audit? And then from that audit, what are you looking at and how can you make some determinations as to what you should be looking at? Probably a full audit once a year would be a good best practice. That way you can comb through the entire site, make sure that you've identified, hey, here's some weak areas, I'm fine over here, and then create a game plan to start tackling the weak areas. And then in terms of like mini audits and checkups, just making sure that nothing crazy happened to the website, probably once a month is good. Could be more frequently if this is something that you're really working on pretty aggressively. But if you do a full audit once a year and then you're checking and monitoring on things monthly, you should be in good shape. What are we looking for in these audits? One is keyword ranking, right? Hey, we set out, we created this plan to try to rank for certain keywords. Are those keywords moving up in the rankings? The next would be overall website health. So we want to see a health score somewhere between 90 and 100 is usually, hey, everything's okay. And we're going to be looking for things like making sure we have good H1s, titles, alt text, our images aren't too big, and then any other errors that pop up. So these could be like 404 errors, broken links, and those are the things that you would want to go in and fix. How often? Once a year, full audit, and then monthly monitoring should be a good pace. And that way you're taking a proactive approach to auditing and then improving your overall site. So there you have it. There are several SEO, FAQs, things that we get asked all the time. As a reminder, you can always apply to join Remodeler Growth Community. It's free to apply, and there's a link down below. Once you get in, you'll get access to tons of resources that we have inside, and then you can get connected with a couple hundred of your peers as well from all over the country. See you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.